All right, YouTube, how you doing? Welcome back to the channel. Second time we've had to record this entire video because the audio file, as some of you guys might have seen, the one that got posted, the audio file corrupted. So we did an entire, 15-16 minute video and no audio came out. So thank you guys in the comments. Screw you guys for being mean about it. Like, what the hell's that up with that, you know? But thank you guys in the comments being like, hey man, this has no audio. So here we are, we're gonna do it again. We'll probably fly through it, not a 16-minute video. But yeah, last video, no audio when we're going through each and every game like we do every single day. We got 10 games on the NBA slate today, guys. Before we jump into it, this video with audio is brought to you guys by MyBookie here, guys. MyBookie, a great sportsbooks. Make sure to go check it out. Link in the bio, guys. You can use code GBS for a % match on your deposit. Tons of cool stuff to do over there. You guys always know I'm encouraging odd shopping around and having multiple sportsbooks. That is one way to do so. And also, do want to give a shout out to Austin over at Calling Our Shot for sending me some awesome merch. They got the embroidery on the sleeve and the chest here, the left chest. So make sure to go check that out, guys. I'm sure you all know who Calling Our Shot is, but definitely go check them out if you have not yet. But let's jump into this because I'm pretty pissed off that we went through all that work of editing and all that, and then all of a sudden, boom, audio craps out. So let's jump into it. We got the Hornets taking on the Hawks here. Hawks, 2.5 point dogs on the road. Total is 240. I think that this game trends towards that over, which makes sense, but the contrarian me wants to pull the trigger on the under here. Both of these two teams have gone in the last 5 games. 4 of those games have gone over. At some point, you got to come back down to earth. Charlotte can score 102 points on any given night, 116, 96. Their offense is so inconsistent. Atlanta, you know, their defense is terrible. I get that, but no Clint Capella, no DeJounte Murray, and no John Collins. I'm going to lean the under in this one, and I also like getting the points here with Atlanta. I don't totally love that side. My pick here would be the under. Is it going to be a final play? I'm not sure yet, so make sure to keep an eye on the pinned comment. Like I tell you guys all the time, pinned comment will be where the final play is, but I just think the under cashes here. It's probably like a 112, 116 game, and boom, you're cashing. Moving on to the Kings here, taking on the Pistons. Pistons, 6-point dogs at home. Total is 237.5. The only injury report to note would be Kevin Huerter here for the Kings. He is questionable. We'll see if he plays. Detroit, Marvin Bagley looks like he is going to play. The Kings coming off a win against Toronto, albeit it was a 1-point win. Detroit coming off of a win, a high-scoring game against Charlotte. I think that this line is fairly doable. It's moving pretty quickly. You can even see in the graphic from earlier, it was a 5-point spread. I do still think you can get that on some sports books, but I'm going to lean the Kings here, minus the 6 points. I do think that, you know, they're obviously the better team. They can score the rock. I don't think Detroit's going to be able to totally keep up with their offense. Not that the Kings have a good defense, but I don't think it's the same type of lack thereof of a defense as Charlotte. Charlotte's like one of the top 5 worst defenses in the league, and at least the Kings, you know, sitting around that 19-20 mark. So I'm going to lean Kings here, minus 6, minus 5, whatever you can get. Moving on, Toronto, 1.5 point dogs at home taking on the Brooklyn Nets. I think that this is a hungry Nets team. I've seen some things out of them. Obviously, you know, they're playing really well, winning 8 of their last 10 games. They've covered 2 straight. I like the Nets in this game. No Patty Mills, and Seth Curry is questionable. Toronto still without OG and Anunoby here. And Toronto coming off of 3 straight losses, 4 of the last 5 games lost. They're 4-6 in the last 10. I think the Nets have a little bit more momentum behind them, so I'm going to lean the Nets here, minus the 1.5. All right, we got the Warriors traveling to Philly. Philly, 8.5 point favorites in this one. Obviously, you see that line and you're like, okay, well, Steph Curry's not playing. You know, Draymond isn't playing. Andrew Wiggins has been out for a while here. Klay Thompson looks like he's the only one not on the injury report, but I'm going to lean Philly here. I don't think this becomes a final play. It's too big of a number. We've seen Philly kind of drop games, surprisingly, to teams like more recently, I would say Charlotte, and then also Houston. They lost those 2 games where they were severe favorites, right? So all of a sudden you see, okay, this team could lose to a bad team. The Philly, they've turned a corner. 3 straight wins, 3 straight covers. I get that, so I'm going to lean Philly in this one. I don't think it becomes a final play solely because of the inconsistency that can come up from their side of things. All right, moving on here. I'm trying to fly through these guys because, man, we are short on schedule now. Cavs, 8.5 point favorites here at home, taking on the Pacers. What I said about this in the earlier video, and I'll just kind of like streamline it here. I think the Cavs win this game, but if I could tease the Pacers with the next play coming up, the Pacers plus 13, plus 13.5, whatever we can get, I think you're looking at a pretty good line there because I know the Cavs probably win this game, but the Pacers can score and keep up with anybody. So I like the Pacers plus the 8.5 here. But what I'm really going to do, if this were to become a final play, I'm going to go ahead and tease this 5-point teaser or so with another game on the slate to make it like a Pacers plus 13.5, which I think they can definitely stay within that realm. In the game that I kind of have thought and chewed around and kicked around the idea of teasing it with would be the Celtics, who are now minus 12.5 at home taking on the Magic. If we can get the Celtics down to 7.5 or 7 in a teaser or anything like that, I do like that. The Celtics team, you know, they looked like they were starting to implode, I guess, against Golden State and then against the Clippers, but then they battle back in overtime and beat the Lakers here. Now Orlando has won 4 straight games. Clippers, Toronto, Atlanta. Not a bad little resume there, but I do still think that, you know, if we can get the Celtics line down to 7.5, anywhere around that, I think that that is totally doable here. So that is probably the lean here, teased with the former pick that I just talked about in the Indiana-Cleveland game. But either way, I guess it was just for this game, I'm going to lean Celtics, but I wouldn't touch 13. That is a lot. Moving on, we have the Timberwolves going up against OKC. OKC 2.5-point favorites. We call them the Rumbling Covering Thunder, right? We love the Thunder here. Not as favorites. I don't feel comfortable betting on the Thunder as favorites. Now, the line is like that because the Thunder are playing decent basketball, right? They've covered 2 straight games. They are losing, but they've covered about 7 in their last 10 games, playing decent. Minnesota, however, is going to be possibly without Rudy Gobert. He's questionable. Without D'Angelo Russell and Karl Anthony Towns. So that is why this line is where it is. I don't totally love it, guys, so I'm probably punting this game away. I think that there is opportunity for Minnesota to potentially, you know, be underdog outrights here, but with all those injuries, you don't really know who's going to play, who's going to be in and out, so I'm punting this game away, and I'm not rolling with the Rumbling Covering Thunder because they're favorites in this game. New York taking on the Bulls. New York getting 2.5 points, 3 on some books. I love that spot for them. They just beat the Bulls a couple nights ago outright when they were underdogs as well. I think that that type of thing goes according to plan again. Chicago, do they come out with a little fire into this? Sure. If you were in the comments arguing, could this Chicago team beat the Knicks? I'd be like, sure. Based on what I'm looking at, based on what I've seen, I do think the Knicks can win this game outright again. So I'm going to lean Knicks here plus the 3 points. All right, we got Dallas hosting the Trailblazers. Dallas 4-point favorites over the Blazers here. Dallas I do like at home this season. These guys played way back in November, and Dallas won by 5 points. Now, this Portland team seems like they can cover whatever they want and whenever they want, but this team, you know, this team, I guess, is inconsistent in and of itself, and Dallas just looks, the eye test. You don't want to bet on the eye test. This game, I am leaning on the eye test. Dallas looks like they're starting to figure some things out here. They lose to Cleveland. That was terrible. I get that. You know, but that game against OKC, they battle back, win. And they beat Denver, Phoenix, New York, all in a row. They started to get things together. And whereas Portland, again, this is going to be another one I go, if you tell me in the comments Portland's going to win this game outright, I don't think I would argue with you, but I think that the superstar power and everything like that, I do think that Dallas comes to play in this one. So I'm going to go lean Dallas -4. I don't think that becomes a final play just because I do, you know, feel like I'm walking on eggshells a little bit because that Portland team can go off for 1,000,000 points at any given moment. Next up, we got the Lakers, 1-point dogs at home, hosting the Nuggets here. This Lakers team, not to say they turned a corner, but they were god-awful for a while. They now, you know, looking a little bit better. They were hot. They got a little bit cold. This could be a get-right spot for them now at home, taking on the Nuggets. They went to overtime with the Celtics. They competed with one of, if not the best team in the league and lost by 4 points. I think this is a spot where, you know, you're getting them at home underdogs here. Denver's a great team. I get that, but I'm going to be crazy. Sound the psycho alarm. I'm going to lean Lakers here, getting the point at home. Total is 237 in this one. I like the under as well. Guys, I flew through it. I apologize for that. Pretty frustrated at technology this morning, I guess, so hopefully you guys don't mind. Obviously, we ran through our notes in way more of an extensive fashion in the first video, but pretty bummed about that. So we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.